Hey Pink Elephant, thanks for your video response. I really don't dispute the main point of your video. Actually, I think that your video would have been a better response to my 8 reasons video, because the video you responded to isn't about black men getting with women of other races or the conditioning of black men. Actually, it's more about the conditioning of black women. But the main point of both of my videos is the insensitive comparisons made between black women and black men and black women and women of other races, especially when it comes to who appears to be more comfortable with their looks. Okay, taking race out of it for a moment, it's just totally inappropriate to compare how comfortable men are with their looks to how comfortable women are with their looks. Women across the board are way more self-conscious about their looks because we are judged on our looks. And that's not to say that men aren't judged on their looks either, but men can be forgiven for their looks if they have it going on in other areas. So Pink, if me and you were white and you were comparing how comfortable you are with your looks as a man and how comfortable I am with my looks as a woman, that's insensitive enough. But it's even more insensitive to compare the two of us since we're both black, and black women have to look at themselves being portrayed by women who are only half black. And then on top of that, one of the main features that complement a woman's femininity, her hair, is something that most black women have had issues with at some point in their lives. I was watching one of Kimmy Tube's videos the other day, and she was talking about how sometimes with black women's hair, it's a toss-up between having cute hair or having long hair. Other races of women don't have to make that choice. Their hair does not dry out when they leave it loose. But anyway, black women have all these things that they have to deal with, and then you guys want to, not you, but black men in general, want to open your insensitive mouths and say, well, we're more comfortable with our looks. It just really makes you want to say, shut the f up. I mean, there is no comparison to be made between how men feel about their looks and how women feel about their looks. You guys don't have to worry about your hair and your makeup and if your lip gloss is popping. You can throw on jeans and a t-shirt and you're good. You put on your suit and you're dressed. If you don't feel like dealing with your hair, you can shave it off. There are certain things that women are sensitive about, just like there are certain things that men are sensitive about. For example, if a guy can't get it up, that's a blow to his ego without you even saying anything. Then for a woman to open her mouth and make some stupid comparison between getting an erection and becoming aroused as a female is just totally, this is no comparison. And you'd probably be about ready to slap a bitch just for saying something so stupid. You would expect a woman to be very sensitive and very careful about what she says about that whole situation because it's a very sensitive thing for you, no pun intended. And by you, I don't mean you, Pink, I mean men in general. But anyway, that's what my first video was about, making inappropriate comparisons between black men and black women. And it's not just you black guys who do that to black women do that to black men too. Black women will say things like, well, we've got more degrees than black men, or we don't go to jail as much as black men. And that doesn't take into account that there are more things hindering a black male success than a black female success. So we just need to be more sensitive with each other about what we compare between the sexes, because some things are apples and oranges comparisons. Alright, now my second video was about making inappropriate or insensitive comparisons between black women and non-black women. Again, this had nothing to do with interracial dating or why black men are attracted to women of other races. Remember at the beginning of the video I posted a comment by a black male talking about how black women feel inferior to women of other races. And he's all too comfortable saying that, as if black women and white women or women of other races have gotten equal treatment in this country, as if we're all on equal footing and all get equal representation. I mean, how is that any different from asking why black men don't own as much as white men? If I said that to you, you would cry foul. You would expect me as a black woman to understand why black men as a whole have not been able to get as far as white men as a whole. And we expect you as black men to be sensitive not to make certain comparisons between black women and non-black women. I'm not saying that all comparison is inappropriate, but on some things it's just very insensitive. For example, saying things like, well, white women don't have to perm their hair, they're comfortable with their hair texture, or they don't do this to their appearance or they don't do that. Well, they don't have to look at the TV screen and the movie screen and see themselves being portrayed by women who are only half white, or making light of how much money black women spend on their hair compared to women of other races, as if our hair is just as easy to manage and we just choose to throw away money just because we can. When it comes to our hair, it would be nice if you men would tread lightly. You should understand the issues that black women have had with their hair, and comparing us to women of other races on hair is assholish. Now, if you're a black man who just wants to justify why he likes women of other races, then I can understand why you would make unfair comparisons. But if you claim to be a black man that loves black women and wants relationships with black women, then you should be more sensitive to certain things. And when it comes to certain issues, you shouldn't overlook the fact that there's a difference between being a male and a female and being black and white. Comparing two different groups of people without giving respect to how society may treat them differently or ignoring the struggles that they've had to overcome is insensitive. So anyway, that's all my 2 videos were about. Hope that clears things up. There's one thing that you said in your video that I do want to address. In a certain way, you seem to be disputing the white trumps black thing, and there's just no disputing that. And I'm not talking about if a black man has a choice between a white woman and a black woman, he's going to take the white woman every single time. That's not what I mean by white trumps black. What I mean is there is a racial hierarchy in this country, and blacks are on the bottom. So non-black people in general are going to think they're better than black people. So I don't know why it's hard for you to believe, or it's disputable, that a fat or ugly white woman thinks that her whiteness makes up for her looks, and she thinks she can go up to a fine black guy and bag him. So while a fat ugly white woman might be self-conscious about her looks with a white guy, she feels confident about her looks with a black guy because white trumps black, and that's what I'm talking about. Even Sergeant Willie Pete has made videos about white girls saying things to him like, "Oh, I do think I'm more special because I'm white." Okay, so this is not in our heads, Pink. This is real. A white woman may not expect to win a dancing contest against a black woman, but she would expect to win a beauty contest. And that's not to say that a Rosie O'Donnell would expect to beat out a Tyra Banks. I mean, on average. This is also the case when it comes to Asian men, Asian women, and white men. In this country, a disproportionately high percentage of Asian women choose white men over Asian men. White men know this, so white men who are interested in Asian women are going to have a certain confidence that Asian men are not going to have. Why? Because they know they have an advantage. Why? Because they feel that they have an advantage. Now, whether or not they actually do have an advantage doesn't matter. They believe they have the advantage, so they're going to have the confidence as if they have the advantage. And this is what I'm talking about with white women and black men. They at least believe they have an advantage, and that's going to make them more comfortable with themselves. And also more confident. Whatever it is that's giving white men the impression that they have an advantage when it comes to getting Asian women, that same thing is going to give Asian men the impression that they have a disadvantage. And whatever it is that tells white women that they have an advantage over black women, it's going to tell black women that they have a disadvantage. And that's all I'm trying to say. So comparing who's more comfortable with themselves or who's more confident across gender lines and across racial lines can be very insensitive if you don't take into account certain things. But anyway, that's about all I've got to say on that. If you got more points to bring up, holla back. If not, I'll talk to you next time.